One of the most common things that B2B reps say is,
Oh, that wouldn't work in my industry.
to be fair, some of that is partially true. There are some things you could do in B2C that will not work in B2B, but at the end of the day, they are all human. I've sold a ton of B2B shit, guys. I actively sell B2B right now for my own offer. I actually just closed one of the biggest influencers in the entire world who has 80 million plus followers. You all have definitely heard of him. And I did not do that by asking, how does that make you feel personally though? Like, what would that do for you? It was getting down to business, understanding what the problem is, and presenting a solution, and having them see me as an authority. So that's exactly what we're gonna talk about in today's video. You're gonna watch me coach one of my reps who sells a package that ranges between 15 to 30K a month. So he's definitely not selling to truck drivers. He's selling to enterprise level companies, companies that are VC backed. And so his sales process has to follow that accordingly. So today we talked about how to find the pain within the business by breaking down the numbers and really finding that bottleneck. Again, the exact same thing that I did to close a big ass company with 80 million followers. So you're gonna watch feedback, you're gonna watch the role play, you're gonna watch everything you need to know to close those kinds of whales. So without further ado, let's dive in. I will be the prospect here, and I will be a messy business owner, and you have to help me identify what is my problem, what is my bottleneck.
Awesome, Nick. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from South Florida, Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, so great area. I'm up here in Philadelphia. Well, I know we only have about 20 minutes set aside for this call, so just wanted to cut straight to the chase, learn a little bit more about your business, see if there's any
Pause.
gap.
What was the point of asking that question, the first one?
Well, I just always like to ask people where they're calling from. Or are you talking?
So that's that question, yeah. So I think if you most of the time people will perceive it as you don't care and it's like made up small talk. And if you ask that question and very quickly breeze past it, it confirms the fact that you don't care. Even
So
if
I
you do
usually spend
actually
more
care.
time on that. I'll be
Okay.
like, oh, ha 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 ha, but then I realize like there are other people on the call here that probably want to.
Okay. Okay.
Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
I just don't know
All
how
right,
to
let's keep going.
start cold without asking the question, if that makes sense.
So just straight up, like the problem, the reason that they're on the call. Hey man, can you hear me good? Yeah, sweet. Looks like you're looking at like possibly getting outside support with influencer marketing. Does that sound about right? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, I have a little bit of content, and then you just dive straight in. Don't like overthink it, because I know you have a corporate background and you sell to corporate companies, and like small talk is so big in that culture.
It's massive there.
But
Yeah.
you don't, yeah, you could get straight to business, and they'll see you more
Okay.
as an authority too, because no one actually wants the small talk.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's start over. Let's start over.
Awesome, Nick. Can you hear me and see me okay?
I do.
Awesome, man. Well, it looks like you booked in a time on my calendar potentially talk about help with user acquisition. Is that right?
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, just so I can get an understanding of whether we might even be able to help, I guess, what was your main intent with looking at different user acquisition issues or solutions?
Yeah, just seeing if we can extend our reach and lower our CAC.
And when you talk about lowering your CAC, what are you guys currently at?
It's blended across a couple different things, but we're seeing about like $25 a user.
Okay, $25 a user. And when we talk about how much revenue you guys tend to generate per user, what are you guys typically at in terms of ARPU?
Like 50 bucks, something like that.
Okay, so $50. So you got about, $25 delta there. Um, I guess, what are you guys currently doing to get users right now?
We got TikTok, we got Facebook, we got Instagram. Facebook as
Okay,
in paid ads. Yeah.
so you guys got a lot of stuff going on.
And
I guess if
YouTube, we're
you
doing YouTube.
if you could give me like a generalization, if you're like, hey, 80% of our users come from YouTube, or is it so blended as to be indistinguishable?
Yeah, I'd say maybe 70% come from YouTube. I'd say like maybe 60% come from YouTube, and then the 40% is between TikTok, Instagram, and paid.
Okay, so 60% come from YouTube, 40% come from paid. I guess when you talk about CAC being too high, are you saying, hey, it's costing us too much money to make these YouTube videos, or what are you referring to specifically there?
Yeah, and also paid too.
Got it. So paid is ultimately the most expensive thing for you. Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Got it. And when we say $25, is that, hey, in the Meta Ads Manager, I'm seeing it at $25 cost per user?
Okay. Pause. So the call becomes harder for you the more vague and broad your questions are, right? Because I could just, as I'm doing, just give you a bunch of vanity numbers and bullshit. Maybe 60%, maybe $25, maybe $50,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Remember how we trained it last time?
How
Get
much we
the
were
data on
spending.
everything.
Yeah. The reason I went for the YouTube thing is I wanted them to say that like, oh no, YouTube doesn't cost us anything, which is honestly bullshit. But yeah, I need to remove that from the equation in order to focus on the other stuff, if that makes sense. Or at least that's how I think about it in my head.
Okay, why do you feel like you need to remove it from the equation?
Well, because ultimately I want them to say why they're not just doing more YouTube.
Okay, okay. So we you want the numbers to show you that because you really don't know how profitable YouTube is. I could be cranking out a video a day right now.
Yeah.
Right? Like you don't know what the effort looks like. So I think to for you to and you know business owners, man, they're very elusive. I'm telling you $25, it could be fucking 30. I'm telling you $50, it could be 70. Like
Yeah.
I'm almost gonna kind of tell you numbers to make myself feel a little better about my situation,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
right?
So we then go, I guess, what the prior script is what we had is being like, okay, so I guess like let's just pull apart paid real quick. And when we talk about paid, is that TikTok? Is that Meta? Is that something else?
hmm Yeah, what are all your paid channels? And then break. And if it's a fuck ton of them, then you don't have to. I think 2 months is a good amount of time. But if you can tell there's just so many, then you can go off of a month of data if a month of data is enough. Like with
Yeah.
closing, I only really go off of a month of data when I'm asking someone their numbers. I don't go back two
And it
months.
and it's also like some of the things don't really help me. Like if they say they're spending, I don't know, 20 grand a month on PPC Google ads, I know I don't sell PPC Google ads. So should I just direct them towards Meta and be like, okay, well, let's just focus on Meta because that's the thing I sell at the end of the day, Meta and TikTok.
Well, what we don't want is to get this. We need to audit their entire business here because
Yeah.
we don't want to get at the end of the call. Well, honestly, we didn't talk much about PPC, but like that's honestly pretty profitable. Like rather than dropping 30 here, 30 grand, I think we should put a little more into that and see what that looks like next
Yeah.
quarter. Fucking, they love saying next quarter.
That's why I'm like, how to aggressively chop off those other things. Like I sort of try to do that with YouTube, but they might be like, oh, Reddit marketing. So what I would tend to do is be like, oh, I mean, like, seems like Reddit's going well. Like, why not just do more of that?
So you
And
do
they'll
that
usually just say,
after
well,
you get all your sources
yeah.
first. You need data. They can't lie against data, but I can lie against $25 cost per click. Like I can lie about that stuff if you
So
haven't gotten down and found it yourself.
one thing I'll get a lies about, mostly because people don't think about it, is they'll be like, oh, okay, so we're getting like a bunch of leads from our founder's Twitter. And I'll be like, okay, so like they'll be like, and what's like the cost per lead there? And they'll be like, oh, there's no cost per lead. It's organic. But like really you have to extrapolate like, well, what's the time spent on that channel? Like as an example, if someone comes to you, Nick, and they're like, they're pulling apart your lead sources, and you're like, well, like YouTube's like virtually free for us. We essentially have to multiply out what the founder's time is worth and then make like a artificial CAC, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's not free. I pay bands for YouTube, right? And if
Yeah.
I'm not paying bands for it, then I'm just spending a lot of time doing it, which
Yeah.
is worth even more bands. So it's not free at all. Like if someone's doing it themselves, like that's a lot of fucking work. Between ideating, packaging, actually going in there and like reviewing the data, making
Hmm.
ideas for the next month, or
It
and
costs.
even if you're paying, like I pay, like YouTube's a pretty profitable channel for me. Like I still pay for production though, you know.
Yeah.
And if someone were to ask me, well, why not double down and do more YouTube? It's like, dude, these fucking videos are exhausting to make. If I can have something that's a little more consistent with that I could just put money into and it brings money back, makes much more sense than doing 6 YouTube videos a week.
Agreed. Agreed.
What up? I hope you're enjoying the video so far. If you want to take it to the next level, I will either get you placed on a high OTE offer and show you how to vet offers yourself and how to source offers yourself in addition to the connections I will make you. If you are already on a solid offer, I will equip you with the skill set to be able to be a top performer on that role, making 20 to 30 grand a month and not just surviving in the middle of the pack. So if that sounds like you, hit the link in the description down below. Talk to me or my team. But for now, let's keep rolling.
So I guess my overarching question is like I'll approach this thing where there's like multiple bifurcated paths of being like, okay, they've got like five fucking active channels. Which do I pick? Or do I just try to like pick apart each, knowing that I have
Each.
each?
Each,
Okay.
each. let's do it together here.
Yeah.
Let's start, and then I'm just still the prospect.
Awesome, man. So when we talk about, traffic to the app, where is most of it coming from?
Honestly, everywhere, man. I got some YouTube. I have a decent sized brand on Twitter, say Instagram too, TikTok, and then a little bit of paid ads too.
Okay. So a little bit of everywhere. I guess maybe let's start at somewhere like YouTube. Do you guys have a good sense as to what you guys are spending each month on YouTube?
Um, yeah, so these small things are like gonna help you, man. Pause.
Yeah.
Is it, it's don't be so much. It seems like there's a lot of internal dialogue going on. Is that fair to say? Like, is there a lot of chatter going on in your mind as you're asking the questions?
Uh, Not on that question particularly, but typically, one thing I was trying to do this weekend was like write out a script, and I was like, well, I don't really have like a very defined script. So one thing people say is like just sear a script into your mind. I feel like I do not have that, like a not a bulletproof script, but a script where I'm just like, I know at this stage of the call, I'm going to be asking these questions, and I know when I tap through these questions, I will pivot to XYZ channel. I come from more of
Okay.
an engineering background, so
Yeah, I
to
know.
for the rest of the call, people, it'd be like, when guys are like, yeah, just like be a natural with girls. Yeah, yeah, I need a fucking script, bro.
Yeah, I know what you mean. If you can just have in your mind, I need to understand what are their numbers, diagnose the business problem, where do they want to go, why now? That's fucking it. That's it.
Yeah,
And then your pitch ties those dots together. Why
yeah,
now isn't like why haven't they been able to do it? Why not these other things?
yeah.
Like why not double down on those? That's it, right? So in this
Wait, can you
part
say
of
that
the call,
again? Like, what are we looking for? We're going, you
it's
said,
different because he's B2B, Alex,
okay.
but it's like understand the data, like what are the different marketing channels, what's the cost per acquisition, like all the most important data points that you need to find the problem. Once you find the problem, understand what does success look like? Okay, this is what's fucking you. Where do you want to be? Okay, why now to change anything? Why now to not continue allowing this thing to fuck you? And then pitch. Very, very simple. This is for your style of selling though, Jax. So
Yeah.
I don't want you guys to take that advice because you sell different things. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
like if you guys are selling business owners, so that's why it's a less emotion. It's still emotional, but it's a less of it's. You have to give the logical in order to get any kind of emotional, if that makes sense, or else they're just gonna be like, "Why the fuck are you asking me how I feel right now?"
Yeah. Yeah, we're you're a business doctor. Like you're here to make
Yeah,
what is the like this eight-figure company that I closed, like I didn't ask them how they feel at all.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So the reason I said that, the reason I asked about the internal dialogue is you can tell when someone has a lot in their mind based off of the way that you ask questions. So I don't even remember how you said it because it's a couple minutes ago now, but you
Mhm.
added a lot of like fluff before the question.
Before the question.
Like just
Yeah, I
ask it.
was.
Hmm.
Yeah, how much are you guys spending on YouTube right now?
Yes, perfect. All right, let's keep it up. Let's pick it up. We don't spend money on ads. It's all organic on YouTube.
Got it. And when we talk about, editor cost, thumbnail designer, what would you guys say all in you're currently spending?
Like 3 grand maybe.
3 grand. Okay. And then who is making the videos? Like who's the talking head?
Me.
You.
Hmm.
And just so I can clarify, like what's exactly your role at the company?
I mostly I make content that performs. That's like the biggest thing that I have my on my plate right now. And also leading the like making sure that the development team, things are working there, the product team, CEO, just making sure that everything's running smoothly.
Got it. And are you a solo founder?
I have a business partner, but he more so works with those teams that I just mentioned as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of your hourly rate, have you ever calculated it and said like, hey, my hour is worth this much to the business?
Probably about $1,000 an hour is what I
Okay.
found.
1,000 bucks an hour. And then how many hours a week are you spending on YouTube?
So about 2 hours. I just
Okay.
record, send it to the editor, forget about it.
Okay. So when we talk about, the editor, thumbnail designer, all of that all in is about $3,000. Your own personal hourly rate is about $1,000. So we're talking 2 hours a week. So are you saying, okay, so 2K a week? for your own personal time to record these videos?
I mean, I guess you could look at it that way. It's tough to say because these videos can live forever and they indirectly bring revenue forever. So that's like one of the best uses of my time. I think if you look at it as very dollars in versus dollars out, then it's like, yeah, 2 grand a week. But we get people signing up from videos from years ago, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that makes complete sense. I guess, when we look at, this long-term asset, why not just do more videos?
Okay, so let's reverse for a second. This is a good
Yeah,
learning experience for everyone, right? Let's reverse and I'll show you what I mean. So we'll just start from that question right there.
sure.
Cool. So what channels are you currently running right now?
I'm running YouTube, Twitter. We honestly have a bunch. Like we're kind of multi-channel operation.
YouTube, Twitter, what else?
YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We also do a little bit on Facebook with the auto posting. And then we also have some paid channels as well. We're experimenting with TikTok ads. We're running a decent amount of meta ads.
Got all types of shit going on here. Okay. So let's start with YouTube. What are you typically spending monthly? Like in April, what'd you spend on YouTube?
Yeah, so we're like more of organic on there. We don't really do any YouTube ads. We're not opposed to it necessarily. So I guess if we're talking like thumbnail designers, copywriters, stuff like that, maybe like 3 grand a month between editors, copywriters, and thumbnail designers.
All right. And last month, how much did YouTube generate?
Great question. I'd have to kind of talk to our team in terms of like the UPM parameters, but it's a pretty profitable channel for us.
Yeah, that's the thing about these kinds of calls. Do you have a idea, like a rough idea of how many users came from YouTube and
Yeah, I
what?
would say for every dollar we put into YouTube, we probably pull about 4 out.
Okay, so 12K.
Yeah, yeah, probably around there. Maybe
Okay.
even a little bit more potentially.
Okay, how many users is that?
Users for us, we're about at like 60,000 or $60 per user for the annual subscription. So let me pull up my math genius here. I'm mostly the face of the operation here.
All good.
200 users.
Okay, so you're pulling 200 users at $60 a user.
Yeah, off YouTube.
Okay. How many videos a week are you posting?
For us right now, it's about 2 videos a week. We've tried to experiment with like remixing the content, but yeah, about 2 videos a week of me like proper just sitting down and chat yapping.
Okay. Okay. So 2 vids a week at 200 users, 12K. Let's pretend I asked this question because we started later. What is your ultimate goal or outcome when it comes to this call?
Yeah, our ultimate goal is we really just want to get more users so that we can raise more money ultimately.
Get more users to raise more money.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So are things like profitability a big concern, or what do the investors need to see?
Well, of course, we'd like to be profitable, but right now, like we're really trying to like just blitz scale. Like if we could get to, let's call it, 10,000 users by the
Mhm.
next 6 months, then that unlocks like a Series A for us, which could be anywhere from 20 to 30 million.
Okay. And what does 20 to 30 million allow you guys to do to where
Yeah.
this is the big goal?
Yeah, for us, it allows us to reinvest in the team and ultimately grow faster. From there, we'd probably focus a bit more on profitability, but right now we're on grow.
Cool. Cool. Got it. All right. So we're done with YouTube. So Twitter, how much do you spend in there?
That's a great question. I mean, I mostly write my own tweets and I kind of just shit post on Saturday. I block off like 2 hours where I just write tweets and they do pretty well. Again, attribution is a little bit wonky, but I get a decent amount of people coming in from our Twitter.
Yeah, yeah. And it's weird. What do they click a link? Do you like reply with the link or is it in the bio or how do they?
Yeah. So I do this system where it auto replies our app link after I think 30 likes. So if I get like a decent amount of virality, and then there's also a link in bio.
Okay, okay. And those are tracked though, right?
Mm, Tracked well, no, but tracked yes.
Okay. How much did Twitter produce last month?
I would guess it kind of depends on how viral I go, but it could as well be anywhere from 200 to on the high end, maybe 500 users if I go mega viral.
What did last month do?
Last month, I would say about 100 users, so a little bit lower than typical.
Okay. At that same 60 or is it less the value for the Twitter people?
Those people are, aside from my own personal cost, is kind of free because I write all my own tweets. In the future, let's say we want to swap in a ghostwriter, maybe that cost me $3,000 a month.
Okay, cool. Instagram, we'll run through the remainder here. I know there's quite a few. Instagram, same thing. How much is it? Are you talking organic Instagram?
Right now, we're mostly paid on Instagram, so let's call it Instagram, Facebook. We spend about $10,000 a month.
Okay, okay. All right, hold up. 10K a month, okay.
Yep.
How many users?
Users is a little bit tricky because of the attribution on the iOS app, but I can tell you our cost per trial is about $17.
Okay, what's wonky about the attribution there?
So we cannot well, it's tough to say how many of the trial users actually convert. We tend to get like about a 23% conversion blended across all the channels across organic and paid, but I don't have a great number as to say, hey, our paid ascension rate is 17% as an example.
Okay, so for these other channels, how do you know the people who become a user?
Uh, so we're able to get the direct traffic, but it's tough to say Instagram and Facebook, this is purely paid.
Okay.
With the Apple's latest update, they kind of strip a lot of the parameters of people going into your app.
So for your paid, are you sending people directly to a trial?
No, it's sending them directly to app, and then there's the quiz funnel, in which case they start a
So do you
trial.
consider a user a trial? Or that's you don't consider? Yes?
No, we consider a user. Well, there's an interesting thing. So we track the total amount of installs, then we attract the total amount of trials, and then a user is anyone that has ascended from that trial.
Okay, so how many users come from the same way we looked at Twitter, YouTube, like how many users come from paid?
Come from paid ads. Yeah, I would say we get about 500 a month, which is a bit too expensive, truthfully.
500 a month at 10K?
Yes.
That could be trouble. It's like $200 a user. Okay.
Yeah, it's way too expensive right now.
All right. And then TikTok, were you talking about ads or were you saying organic?
TikTok is ads as well, but it's a new channel for us. We're like
How much?
we're kind of fucked. Also, by the way, Nick, let me see. 10,000 divided by 500.
Oh, I
That's
did divide
$20
by
a user.
50.
So this
Yeah.
is what something I will fuck up too, and then I'll get
Uh,
corrected, and I'll be like, shit. Like there's
that's
just so many
fine.
numbers
If you
getting
said that,
tossed around.
I'd be like, look, I told you I'm not a mathematician. All right,
Yeah,
20, and
dude.
then let's run through TikTok real quick.
Yeah, TikTok, we're spending about $2,000. We are getting, maybe only 20 users, which is abysmal. It's still a new channel for us. We're still trying to crack TikTok ads.
Okay. Okay. So you said 2 grand and you're getting 20 users?
Yeah, it's bad, but it's a new channel.
Okay.
Like every time we start somewhere, we always know it's going to be shit for at least a few months.
Okay, so with what I'm seeing here, it looks like your organic channels are performing pretty well.
Yep.
We're getting $60 a user, pretty much free users with Twitter. What's preventing you from just doubling down there and not even looking at the paid side?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of my time. And I could film more YouTube videos. I could write more tweets. There is also a bit of a ceiling there. Like I tweet now 4 times a day. I don't know if I could tweet 8 times a day while still keeping that same like linear growth of users, if that makes
Okay.
sense. It's a bit of a timing and a bit of
So
like I'm
if
not sure if I'll tap it out.
Okay. So if you could, let me ask it this way. You haven't tapped it out yet. And you also haven't tapped out YouTube. You're only doing 2 videos a week. And these are your most profitable channels right now, right?
Yep.
And I know the biggest thing for you is being able to get that Series A. So what is it about running off of organic channels that you feel like, okay, maybe I need to double down on paid if I really want to be able to get that Series A? Where do these things come in together?
Yeah, well, I still have a lot of like daily duties. So like content is one of those few things that I can't fully outsource. And that's why I was kind of interested in what you were doing because you build these like, creator armies that can post on your behalf. Also, if
Uh-huh.
we want to sell the business eventually, not that I'm saying we would, I can't necessarily be the face of a sold company.
Okay, okay. So you have limited amount of time, which a lot of it is going to content right now,
Yep.
and this affects your ability to be able to exit if you wanted to. Now, what about you being able to raise money if they're seeing that the most profitable channels are based off of your face? How do you think that affects your ability to raise money?
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal if for the exit, I think people are kind of comfortable at like founder-led marketing. Most people aren't crying that Elon's the like posting on Twitter, but it definitely impacts the way they look at it. Because like, let's imagine, I don't think this would happen, but if I had like some kind of scandal as an example,
Oh
then my
man.
face is seriously marred and impacts the growth of the company. So I think they just want diversity of channels, if that makes sense.
Pause. Right. If we had more time, I'd keep going, but like we just found it.
Yeah,
Do you see how we did that?
yeah,
Right? This is like I know you have really solid. I'm gonna send this in the chat. I know you have really solid business acumen, right? This is how you do that because it's like, okay, I'm looking at this business like a doctor, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, Instagram, I mean, Twitter does well, YouTube does well, but the only thing that's shitting the bed is your paid ads. Like you're
yep,
totally shitting the bed on your paid ads. So why not do more of what you're already doing? Oh, I'm not gonna have the enterprise level value that I want if I continue doing that.
yep,
Right now, I can transit. Now I understand why my solution is so important. Because that's one of the first things you were saying is like, well, I don't sell Google ads. Should I talk about that? I don't sell this. Now, this is how you know, because a company that's going to sell and a company that's going to get raise money, they're going to need to have consistent lead sources, whereas organic is not a consistent lead source. That's their
yep.
problem. That's much bigger than a $30,000 problem. It's a $30 million problem.
Yeah. Yeah, that also gave me some ideas on how I can block things off. If they're like, so as an example, I had this person that they were like, yeah, we were spending 100K on influencers a month and it just kind of stopped working as effectively. Um, and the big thing I got into them with is like they were essentially deciding whether they should take another path or just try to continue to tweak organic. And I could have even taken that path of being like, you almost want to diversify your streams of
You have to
user
be able to
acquisition.
know what is important to your avatar. That's why the avatar doc is so important.
Yeah,
Because I'm only able to do this, man, because we did the avatar doc together, and I understand that raising money is important to these people. And then
super
I need to
important.
know, well, what needs to happen to raise money, or if profitability is what's the most important to you. Because if profitability is what was most important, they wouldn't be on this fucking call. They would actually be
Yeah,
doubling down on the paid channels, you know?
100%.
And what I did here too, what I was telling you is changing your perception of the problem, right? Now you see this as like, oh, it's not just me paying Jax 30 grand to get a couple dancing videos. It's me paying Jax 30 grand to be able to put us in the best position to be able to
To
raise
raise 30
30
million.
million.
What up, guys? Hope you enjoyed that. Again, if you want to get placed on a good offer and get the skill set to be able to A, vet the offer, and B, survive on that offer, or if you're already on a solid offer and you're tired of being in the middle of the pack, and you look at the top guy and you know he's not much better than you, hit that first link in the description. You're gonna speak to either me or my team. We'll get you placed on a high OT offer and equip you with the skill set to actually be able to perform and make the money that you wanna make. As always, guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you. Till next time, peace.